Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of Brave Kids Art Club. My name is Brad, and I feel like I owe you guys an apology, or at least an explanation, or why I didn't post videos for the past week. Honestly, I've had a lot on my plate for work, so I've been really busy with that, and just didn't have time to record new videos. It's really sad because this is the most fun I have every day, is recording videos and doing these drawing classes for you. So thank you guys so much for your support, and hopefully this wasn't too much of a bummer to not have videos for a little bit, and you were able to catch up on maybe some old ones that you hadn't done. So anyways, today we're gonna be drawing something really fun. Today we're gonna draw a helicopter. So of course, before we get drawing, let's make sure we have our tools out and ready. Of course, we need a nice clean sheet of paper. We're gonna need a sharpened pencil because we do some sketching, and we wanna make sure that we sketch this out beforehand and know where everything's going to be before we draw our final outline, which is with a dark marker or a pen, whatever you have handy. And then we're gonna erase a lot of that sketch from underneath the outline. So have an eraser handy of some type. My eraser's shedding here. And then at the very, very end, we're gonna do some coloring, which is gonna be a blast. So I got a big set of markers here. You can use whatever you want to color it in. It doesn't have to be markers. All right, so let's go jump straight into our sketch. Now, because there's so many different types of helicopters, they have different uses, they're different shapes, they're built differently, they fly a little differently. They all have the main standard parts. Then I can kind of use that as a guide for making my own helicopter. So this isn't one specific type of helicopter, but it is a helicopter that would work, which is important. So I have my paper on its side here horizontally because I want to make sure that we have enough room for the tail here, and then the main cab of our helicopter, our cockpit, and then we'll have to put its little blades on the top. So that's why we're doing this as a sketch first, be able to figure out how that's all going to fit on here. So I'm going to kind of draw maybe more of an oval here right now. Now it's not going to stay an oval, but I'm going to draw an oval to kind of figure out where the front of this helicopter is going to be. The main cockpit, which would be the front where the pilot is, and where the passengers will be right in the back, but the main body of our helicopter is going to be right here. So draw some sort of oval right here. I think that's pretty good. Maybe I can even go back a little further. All right, so now we know where the body of this helicopter is going to be. We need to add the tail. So I'm going to do a little bit of a tail because I'm going to taper it a bit going back here. Now it's not exact, it doesn't have to be perfect right here. We're just kind of figuring out a little bit of how much space it'll take up on our page. Now notice how I'm leaving a little bit more room over here on the front. That's because we have the blades on the top. They're going to be centered right here. There's a rotor on the top that spins these really big blades, like long blades. Like if you look at a fan, you know, it has those big, especially a ceiling fan, they have those long things, they call those blades. Those are what's spinning around and producing all the air, pushing all the air. So that's what this is, like a giant fan on the top. And then, so I'll put a little line to kind of split that in half, and just know that we're gonna add that in here in just a second. So we'll have the back is gonna look a little bit like an airplane. So back here, we're gonna draw a little, almost like a little fin in the back, like this. And then I'm gonna have that go down a little bit more. Maybe this one's a bit bigger on the top. Like that. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. And then you can make this as thick as you want. I didn't really focus too much on the thickness of this tail because right about here, I'm gonna draw a circle. I'm gonna lightly draw a circle and just maybe draw a little point in the middle so you know where you're drawing that circle around. And that's gonna be another blade, or another rotor, I should say, that has blades on it as well, just like a fan. Now they have one on the side and they have one on the top, and I'll tell you the reason why after we draw these ones on the top. So you can draw this flying in the air if you want, or you can have this be stationary. Maybe I'm just gonna have this one spin because I think it'd be kind of fun to have that one look like it's spinning, and this one's just about to spin. So I want to show you what the blades look like. If you wanted it to look like this, you would just draw it kind of squished, a foreshortened circle. If you took the pencil, if you did the pencil class that we had, or the pencil, watch that video, then you know the term foreshortened is just a squished circle, so it looks like it's in perspective. So we could do that, make it look like the blades are on and spinning around so fast that you can't really see the individual blades, but I don't know. I kind of want to show those blades. I kind of want to do those. So I found an easy way to do those. But first, let me do this. This is the center. I'm going to go up a little bit higher right here. And I'm going to determine where they're going to start. So I'm going to add a little bit right here on the top for it to connect. And let's just say they're going to connect maybe right about here. All right, so I'm at this circle I'm going to use as my point, and we're going to have a line going through it, going up over here, and then I'm going to draw another line like a squished X over here. And then I'm going to draw this. I mean, this is going to be not super tricky, but just watch it closely. I'm going to draw right next to it, but I'm going to have it go to the middle, and then I'm going to have it go on the outside on the other. So that way it just kind of splits a little bit, and then you automatically just close off the ends, and you have little blades there for your helicopter. So I'm going to do the same thing over here, kind of have it come to the middle, and have it come out over on this end. And there you go. Now, different helicopters have different amount of blades. The least they can have is 2, but they can have up to lots and lots of different blades. But it just really is all about how much lift it can get them, because the cool thing about helicopters is that when the fan goes on, it's pushing the air down and it's lifting them up, which is really cool. So they don't have to go take off like an airplane, which makes it very easy for them to go get people in really tough spots where airplanes can't. They don't have to have a takeoff or a runway, I should say. They can just go, and that's why they use them for like search and rescue. They use them to put out fires out in the woods, all sorts of things. So helicopters have lots and lots of cool uses that airplanes can't do, and that's why they exist. And another thing too, this one right here, this little fan on the side, or little rotor on the side, it's actually keeping the whole thing from spinning around the opposite direction. So the fans are spinning on the top, the blades, and the whole helicopter would start spinning the opposite direction if it didn't have this little rotor on the side on the tail keeping it. So it's blowing in the opposite direction to keep it steady and still. Pretty amazing, huh? I'm sorry, I just get really interested in the things that I draw because it always fascinates me, and I'm curious about what I'm drawing. It helps me understand how to draw it. So that's why I like to do a little bit of research before I draw things, because then things make a whole lot more sense. So now I'm going to start cleaning up the body of my helicopter here. So I'm going to do like a straight line over here, and then go up here. I'm going to kind of round it off. I want to have some nice rounded edges on here. I'm going to have this come down over here. Maybe that was a little too high. Let's do this. Like that, and then I'm going to this will be the windshield there for a helicopter. Bring it back. So I have it really curved on the front, a little bit more squared off in the back, and then I'm just going to kind of flatten it out at the bottom. Well, best I can. There we go. There we are. That looks pretty good. Then we're going to make sure that tail's connected. If you want to make this a little bit more visible, we can make that tail fin a little bit taller. All right, so now we need to put our windows in, but we're also missing one more thing here on the bottom. Yep, you're right, that's the landing gear. They have to have something to land on. So it looks like these little bars that they just land on. So I'm going to do a couple little lines here and a little over here. This will be the bottom of our landing gear. And then we're going to draw a straight line down here at the bottom. There we go. And I'm going to curve it up just a little bit in the front. Or maybe it's over there, yeah. A little bit in the front. There we are. And I'll erase this bit right here. I assume it's curved up in the front just in case when it comes down, it doesn't get caught and flip the whole thing. It probably can just skid. That's my guess. Kind of looks like Santa's sleigh, right? Looks like a little sled on the bottom. It's kind of what it is. All right, so we're almost there. Let's go ahead and draw. I'm going to just go kind of pick from this line over here. I'm going to go straight down. And then I'm going to kind of curve it a little bit right here. And then I'm gonna go straight across. And that's gonna be the cockpit, where the pilot will be. All right, let's do this back window here, just in case someone's in there with the pilot and wants to see out a window. You can add a bigger window or more windows, whatever you want to add on here. I think that looks pretty good. All right, maybe we'll add like a little stripe on here too. That'd be kind of fun. Let's add a stripe right across here. It'll be more fun to color in later. We'll add another stripe right here, the bottom of that stripe. There we go. And maybe we even like do a little, we just follow that line again, and looks like we have the window set into the metal on the side of this helicopter. So I'll just kind of copy it. The little details that I'm just adding for fun. And then I need to go back and make sure I erase this kind of stuff right here in the middle that I'm not going to draw, because I want to make sure I don't go over that with my marker at the end here. But awesome. Well, it looks like it's just about to take off and hover, which actually I found out is one of the hardest things to do in a helicopter. Flying it is difficult, but it's more difficult to just sit there and hover and not move. That's what's the cool thing that it can do, obviously, is that it can hover, but you're also fighting winds and things like that, so you have to constantly adjust and focus. So I think it'd be kind of neat to fly a helicopter. Have you guys ever been in a helicopter? I've always wanted to do that. I'm afraid of heights, but I think I could do that, because I think it'd be really cool to see some other parts of, like a landscape. A lot of people go on tours and things of really cool areas, and they can get really close to it because they don't have to just fly by it in an airplane. They can kind of hover and check things out, which is really cool. So anyways, okay, let's go ahead and I think we're ready to start with our outline, I think. Yeah, let's jump straight into our outline, which should be fairly simple here. Oh, one thing right here. Erase all the stuff in the middle of this. I think if the fan blade was going on, you're not gonna see any of that stuff in the middle really. So I'm gonna redo my circle and redo the little bit in the middle, the rotor. And I think that's it. All right, cool. Okay, our helicopter is looking really good. There we go. Draw a circle right here. Now, if you need help drawing circles, you can find stuff around your house that you can trace. This one's almost the size of like the, I don't know, like the cap of like a glue stick or something. It's always a good thing to have around. You can even get those little sheets, little plastic sheets that have all the little circles in them that are cut out so you can just trace them. I need to get one of those. I'm gonna put that on my Christmas list this year. I think that'd be really helpful for this, for these videos too. But if you don't have any of that, the nice thing about drawing is it's cheap and it's simple. You can make it more difficult and you can add more, get more tools and things, but you can also just get a pencil and paper and be on your way. All right, let me get this at the bottom, go straight across. Yeah, so what would this helicopter be used for? What do you think? This one looks like it's more of a sightseeing helicopter, taking people on tours around and just checking out the area. I don't see much other use for this helicopter besides just having fun and flying it around. Because it's smaller, probably doesn't hold a lot of people. They use helicopters for everything. They have a lot of military helicopters that can hold a lot of weight. In fact, they have multiple sets of blades so that they can have more, they can lift more, and they can carry heavy stuff in there. So you might see some flying above you. I've seen a lot growing up, and there was 2 sets of blades on the top. So it didn't have 1, it had 2. Probably separated enough so they didn't run into each other, but they had 2 sets of blades and they were really, really cool looking. They use helicopters a lot in the military. Like I said, they use them to rescue folks a lot because they can just hover over anything and not have to worry about landing right away, which would be extremely helpful. You also wouldn't think that they go very fast. I at least didn't think they could go very fast. But they can go up to like 250 miles per hour. That's really, really fast. Now that's like the fastest ones. They don't all go that way, but I feel like that's still pretty fast for a helicopter. Which also makes you think, how in the world do they go forward and left, and how do they even maneuver a helicopter like this? I feel like that would be very difficult because you just have a blade on the top pulling you up, and this one just making it so you don't go flying around in circles. So how do they actually move? Well, it's actually the way they tilt the blade. So your blades will actually tilt, and then whatever way they tilt, that's the way that the helicopter can go. So if it tilts forward and down, it's going to start going forward. If it pulls back, it's obviously going to start lifting up. It's pretty neat. The minds that create these machines are incredible. Oops, I gotta go over here. Blows my mind. I'm pretty sure Leonardo da Vinci had drawn up some plans. He sketched all sorts of modern day machines that never actually, not all of them were built, but he sketched them out, which was incredible. He thought of them and that they could exist. And he actually thought of a helicopter, a version of a helicopter. That was back in like the 1400s. The actual first helicopter was built in like the early 1900s, like 1930s or something like that. And those like the ones that we see, like the types of helicopters we see today. All right, I think I am done. I might add a few more little lines here, little designs. Oh, maybe this one right here too. And you can go ahead and decorate it however you want. But I'm really happy with how this looks. And yeah, maybe you want to add a background or something like that. But whatever you want to do with your pen, go ahead and do that now, and then you can start coloring it afterwards. I'm going to go ahead and erase all of my sketch underneath here because I don't need it. And it'll show up really and look kind of crummy when I have my markers to go over it. So I'm going to do that and start coloring it. And how about we just meet up at the end after we're both done coloring? Does that sound good? Awesome. Okay, we'll go ahead and do that. I think that's it. I think I'm done. You'll notice I got a little bit of some dots on there. My marker kind of exploded a little bit on there, but I'm still happy with how it looks. That's okay. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, but it does have to be fun, and that's what this was. This was a whole lot of fun. It's always neat drawing something new. I don't draw a lot of helicopters, so well, I hope you guys had a blast, and I hope you're proud of what you made. That's what's really, really important, that you had fun and that you're proud of what you made. So I'm gonna go ahead and sign my name on the bottom. You should as well, so everybody knows that this is yours. I'll put my initials down there. And I think we're done with the helicopter. Well, I sure do appreciate you guys. Make sure if you aren't subscribed already to subscribe to the channel and drop this video a like if you enjoyed it. And yeah, remember at the end of this video too, it's Friday. So that means that we're gonna be showing off some of your work, your amazing work that you guys have been sending in. So thank you guys for doing that. Just stick around to the very, very end. You'll see a little slideshow gallery of your work. So thanks, and remember, be brave, be creative, but most importantly, be you. Alrighty, we'll see you guys next time.